Good evening and welcome to the Chevy Nova 7374 Nova Show. I'm Dave. I'm one of the admins on the forum, and this is our stream. So it's a Wednesday night, and I'm sorry to come on a Wednesday night. Usually I try to aim for Tuesday. Ended up getting called to play hockey, and it's my Canadian duty to show up to the games. So that's why we're not doing it on Tuesday. We're doing it today. I'm sorry for the late notice, of course. I usually like to give you guys a little notice so everybody can join. I will just give a few minutes to see if some people join. There's a few topics I want to touch on. And also want to touch base and wish everybody, of course, a happy 2020. We are in the 20s now, 2020. So we'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody shows up. Wow, we got one person. It says one person is logged in. I'll just give people a few minutes. It's 8 o'clock Central. It's a bombing 0 degrees here in Winnipeg. I almost didn't come out to the garage. We currently are expecting about 10 centimeters of snow. I'm not sure how many inches that is. Let me get my conversion tape measure out. So 10 centimeters, oh, that's only 4 inches of snow. So we're expecting anywhere from, I think it was 4 to 12 inches of snow right now, and it just started snowing. Like I said, it's 0 degrees, and I almost turned around and went back in the house and thinking, maybe not. But I promised you guys we'd do a stream, and here we are. Of course, beside me is my co-host, the lovely 73 Nova of mine. Not really doing anything on it. I know people have been posting about their winter projects. I'm not really doing anything on it. Did a little detailing. I'm going to repaint the master cylinder. That I just did the cap. Did it in a nice trim-clad gloss aluminum. Trim-clad, my favorite paint because it's cheap. It was on sale. And I used 7 of these in the flat black to do the Omega, the whole car. So just doing a little detailing work, and then I'm also going to put on one of these quick fuel insulator kits. I've been reading on the Holy Sniper forums about a lot of people are burning up their snipers because the ECU, the computer, is right here in the front. And, well, of course, computers don't like heat, so I bought this on Amazon. I forget how much it was, but I'm going to put that on, and, of course, to do that, I also need longer carb studs because I'm going to leave the 1-inch spacer on, so I had to buy some threaded rod. So that's going to be my project in the next coming days or so. I see we have a few people who've logged on now, so now I'm not talking to myself. Right on. Hey, Richard, how you doing? He joined us first. Matt Baker, how you doing, sir? And my good buddy, Doug Toe from Leela's Nova. Doug, how you doing? And I don't know why my camera is doing that. I guess I'm moving too fast for it. How you doing, Doug? We haven't spoken in some time. We really need to catch up on things. Tell you about the workings of the car. I know you're interested in what Shelly's been doing. In the background there that I'm trying to hide as I stand here is my girlfriend's 73 Chevelle SS. I know in the past streams, you've seen a few other cars parked there, whether it be my 74 Olds Omega or an 88 Ford Mustang. But right now, for this winter, the Chevelle's in here because Shelly's rewiring it, putting a bunch of new toys in it. And like I said, just tinkering on my Nova, not really doing much, not yet anyway. And Matt's just getting in from the shop. Matt's been doing a lot of work on Christine, which is his 74 Nova. And I have a little bit of a love on for that car because it looks like my car. And it looks really nice. I'm surprised really the work Matt is doing on it because it looked like it was in really good shape. But he wants it perfect. So he's doing a lot of metal and fabrication work to the car. You definitely want to check out his posts on the forum if you get a chance. So yeah, look that up, Matt Baker. And if you don't know how to search for posts, I brought my lucky laptop out here again. Oh, I gotta watch out for that cord. From the main page, here, let me just scroll a little. This is how, oh, there are people chatting here. Well, let's close that because you don't want to see my personal crap. Okay, let's move up to, okay, so we're on the main page here. Let's let the camera focus on it. Will the camera pick that up? Okay, well, camera's not doing a good job auto-focusing, but on the main tab here on your computer, you got, of course, the Chevy Nova group here. Scroll on down, and after all of these different options here, you'll see a thing that says search this group. Search that group, put in Matt Baker, and then you hit the little search icon, and it will give you a bunch of options, and I always change one of the options to search most recent, and you'll see all the work that Matt is doing on Christine. Rex has joined us. Rex, how you doing? And Rex has been promoted to an admin on the forum. So Rex will also be helping Tim, Kim, and Will out with administering the forum and keeping things pretty cool. And that's one thing I wanted to touch on tonight was we had a little bit of an incident. We'll talk about that in a few moments. Let me welcome a few more people here. And oh, sorry, Matt has a 73. I don't know why I thought 74. Okay, well, you know what? I had a 50% chance on that one, Matt. My apologies, sir. And we have Carter joining us and Brianne. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't recognize those names as being on the stream before. I think you may be first timers. If you are, welcome. And if you are, you will soon learn that I am very bad with names. Yeah. But importantly, you're here and welcome to the stream. Of course, join in. We got the chat here. So follow in the chat, of course. It's not just a show for me to talk. You guys want to talk? You got problems? You just want to yap? Hey, fill up the stream here, and I'll try to reply as well as our good friends. Yeah, let's see. We got, 8 people joining us already. So that's pretty good. 9, right on. So as I mentioned, to search for posts, yeah, just go up on the menu here, go down to search this group. To view other previous streams for our new folks who have joined us, if you want to view some of the other ones we've had, because we've had a few, on the computer, I'm not too sure on mobile phones. On the left here, the 6th one down says videos. If you click on videos, it will come up with the video screen of all the videos that have been uploaded to the group, and just highlight your mouse over them, and eventually you'll see ones that come up, and I call them the Chevy Nova 73, 74 Nova show. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to take some screenshots and post it up for everybody. Along with the videos, you can also search for just photos. It's doing the same thing. That's the 7th option down. The 8th option is files. That is something we've just started to do lately here. Files, and what we've done here is we've uploaded some technical files. We've got a lot of wiring schematic files that have been uploaded for 73 and 74, of course. Let me just look here. We have, wiring diagrams, electrical circuit identifications, components, instrument cluster schematics, trunk schematics, both for 73 and 74. We even have a little more. We have some information in that seatbelt starter interlink system. Seatbelt and starter interlock system. And what that is you'll know on the 74 Novas, a few people, let's move my heater there. Some people have asked what this little orange plastic connector is on the firewall. Of course, I don't have it because this is a 73, but it's an orange plastic connector that's on the firewall, and sometimes you'll see a gray piece that's plugged into it. That is your seatbelt and starter interlock system. And I don't have the proper definition of what it does, so I'm not going to try and wing it or fudge it. But basically, there's a file on here that explains the system and how to get around and troubleshoot it. And we also have a file on the glove box door lock removal, which could come in handy if you're putting a new glove box in, but you want to keep your old locking mechanism because your key works in it. Check out that file. I've put up a file there, the HEI conversion by Alex Palin. Alex has a 73 Nova. He's put up a website that's got to be all of about 20 years old. And it's actually a website that I use to help wire an HEI system into my car when I first started modifying it. And of course, we have the dealer brochures for 73 and 74 in there, and an excellent article on tucking a 1974 front bumper. So we have both 73 and 74 bumper tucking information in that files category there. So let me get back to the chat here. I see some more people have joined us and are talking. That's great. James, buddy, how you doing? And of course, Kim Nova girl, how you doing? One of the other admins is on. She's probably on to make sure I stay in line. That's always good because sometimes even I get out of control. And Scott Pope, good day, sir. How you doing? Scott is a friend of mine from another group. He has what is it, a 72 Nova, I think it is, or no, it's just 70. Oh man, I'm really winging it today. I can't remember what kind of Nova he has. But he's been in the group for a long time, and this was before it was locked down to 73, 74 owners. So he's been kind of grandfathered in. And Dale Simonson, pardon me. How you doing, buddy? Dale's a fellow Nova builder as well. And he's joined us. Oh, look at that. I got the wrong mouse. No wonder things aren't working around here. Speaking of glove box, Kim was just mentioning of glove boxes. LutzChevelle.com has them for $16. Well, we're talking about Lutz Chevelle. Oh man, I am not doing well tonight. LutzChevy.com. If you have a moment, check this website out. I came across this website. It was a couple weeks ago I posted it. I was looking for engine emblems because I'm looking for 400 emblems for my engine badging because as you've seen in my pictures, I got 307s. But I'm looking for that particular font, not like, the Firebird kind, which are tilted, or the Caprice kind. I want the white font like this for my my fenders. And we ended up finding some ones, I don't think you can see it on the camera, that are 400 that are like the Chevelle, but the Chevelle ones are a little smaller. So I think I ordered the wrong ones. But while I was on this site, I thought, hey, let's see what else they have for 73, 74 Novas. Check out that website, LutzChevy.com, and look for 73 and 74 Novas. You'll be pleasantly surprised. I found things even like the hood emblem. We had a discussion on the hood emblem on Tim Bourne's car, where you can find them, where you can get them. There's also emblems for 74 there as well. Simple stuff like that, all the way to weather stripping. And check it out, LutzChevy.com. Yeah, gotta keep the hair. I can't cut it right now, Scott, because gotta let the hair grow a little bit, because then my goalie helmet fits nice and tight. So yeah, and I gotta stay warm, right? And Patrick Newman, he's from Texas. Oh, Pat, how's the weather there? It is a bombing 0 degrees here and snowing right now. As I mentioned a little earlier in the stream, I was really having second thoughts about coming down into the garage here. In fact, you can probably hear my heater going in the background there if you're wondering what that low dull is. Kim has just mentioned that LutzChevy.com has 12 pages of stuff for 73, 74 Nova. Like I said, it's definitely worth taking a look at. All right. Now I guess we're into the main part of the stream here. Got a good number of users on. One thing I wanted to talk about, and, I like to think our Chevy Nova group is one of the best groups out there. I've been a part of a lot of them, and, there's a lot of people out there, for the most part. Everybody's a mechanic. Everybody, has their way of doing things, and everybody's right. Luckily here at Chevy Nova 73, 74, we all seem to work together. Nobody seems to go against another person's way of doing things. It's been really good. Like, you can do a certain kind of upgrade on your car or fix a certain problem, and there may be one or two ways to fix the problem, but in the end, the problem gets fixed. What I like is nobody argues saying that way sucks. You have to do it this way. Our goal here has just been to help other Nova owners get their stuff fixed. And we've been really good, and everybody's been really respectful in terms of being able to voice their opinion on how to perform a fix or diagnose a problem, while other people add to it in a very respectful manner. And I'm really impressed with how well this page runs. Every now and then, though, we have an odd incident where somebody may have a modification or something done to their car, and a comment gets made, and it snowballs. Luckily, we have some really good people, moderators as well as admins, who can catch things pretty quickly and try to de-escalate things. We have very sensitive topics in this group. I will not lie. We have some very sensitive topics. One of them, of course, is the front end swap. You know, this is your almost stock 73 front. My modification, of course, is the signal lights. I've got the chrome signal lights on mine. So does that make my car any better or any worse than a stock 73 Nova? No. But now I also have aftermarket headlights. That's not stock. Is it still a stock 73 front end? Anyway, what I'm getting at, some people are doing complete swaps to the 68, the 72 front. Some people are also swapping the rear tail lights and bumpers. And comments got made on a particular post, really upset the user, and rightfully so. You know, people put a lot of work into their cars, and they take a lot of pride in it. I know I take a lot of pride in it. I know it's just aftermarket headlights and signal lights, but I take a lot of pride in having those and having it wired up the way I do. And we just got to be mindful to be respectful of other people's ideas. 99% of it is very well, but every now and then we have the odd slip up and somebody is disrespected, and we usually deal with it pretty quickly. Thankfully, it's not like super serious, but we're able to de-escalate the situations very quickly. So I'm happy for that. But yeah, that front end swap, that is a very sensitive topic on our group, because we have our purists. And I got to admit, I'm one of them. I'm a guy who likes the 73, 74 front, but that's not going to take away my opinions of the work somebody's put into their car, as you've seen the work I've put into my car. Okay, enough talk about that one. Bumper tucking, that's another sensitive option. Personally, I like my bumpers. Gives me a place to sit and chat, or to put wrenches when I'm working on the car. Other people like to pull them in, tuck them in, or even change them to the earlier style. Hey, whatever floats your boat. We just got to remember to respect everybody. So, okay, enough said on that. We don't need to drone on that. All right, let's see. Chris, how you doing? This name looks new to me. He got a 74 from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and is loving it. And they just had 20 centimeters of snow. I heard the East Coast got hammered there, Chris. You guys certainly get hammered quite often with weather, especially in the springtime. They always have lousy weather. I'm just a little further west of you in center of Canada, in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And we're supposed to get anywhere from 10 to 30 snow tonight. And Scott says that dash 12, I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Moving along. And Sean Michael Myers, how you doing, sir? And he made a comment about the very mature group and knowledgeable. Actually, that is bang on. Mature. This is a very mature group. I will absolutely agree with you there. And my buddy Steve Hernandez. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, again, I'm bad with names. How you doing, sir? And he's one of those guys that definitely agrees that you create your own ride. So we just caught up on the comments there. I see 15 people have now joined us. That's pretty good. So come on, folks. Let's fill up this chat here. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves as well. And hey, Mark Wayne Jeffries, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Chevy Nova 7374 Nova show. So we're just talking about a few things here. I talked quickly about LutzChevy.com. You need to check that out. And about some stuff going on in the group. But for the most part, like I said, it's been handled and so on. So what else do I have to talk about? Oh, cover pictures. One of the reasons I always ask people to upload a lot of pictures is because we like to change the cover picture. I'm doing it twice a week now. I've been thinking of doing it 3 times a week, but the problem is I want to leave the car up there so it gets seen by everybody. And I feel if I do it 3 times a week, that's really every 2-3 days, your car may not get noticed as much. So I want to try and still leave it up 3 to 4 days. I'm still doing it twice a week. I am saving your pictures and noting, of course, what year you have so that when I put it up, I can properly identify your car and the owner, of course. So I am doing that all the time. Whether you submit pictures on the cover picture thread or not, I'm still right-click and saving pictures all the time to use on our cover picture. I've got quite a stash right now. I know some people have asked, Dave, when are you going to use my cover picture? I've got, well, let's see, what do I have right now? Right now, I have 242 of them saved, and I've tried to slow down on right-clicking so much. I want to try and get everybody up there, of course, and I will try. So hang in there and check back often. I try to change them, usually Monday, sometime Monday, if not very early Tuesday, and then if I don't do it very late Thursday night on a Friday for the weekend. So cover pictures, keep uploading those pictures. And of course, if you really want to make it easy for me, which is always helpful, one thing I definitely look for in pictures, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up here, but I need the picture so I can see the full vehicle, you know, like the spacing. With my OCD, things got to be centered, things got to be nice. I hate uploading a picture that would be, you know, cut off like this, or, you know, or just the corner of it's missing like that. That just gets me twitching. I know there are pictures of your car, but I like to upload a full and a nice complete picture of your car like that. So those are little things I look for in the pictures that I'm saving. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Oh, let me close another chat here. Everybody's looking for a goalie. And Dylan Whitehead, how you doing, buddy? He just took a note of the Chevelle in the background. That is my girlfriend's car. That's a 73 Chevelle SS with a 565 big block Chevy in it. It was a 454 car, and I chased that girl on the streets since we met back in '95, street racing, and I chased that girl. Oh, man, I'll tell you this. I'll put to you in a short story here. Took me 17 years, 2 cars, 2 motors, and 13 grand to finally beat her. And I finally beat her after putting this 406 in my Nova. And then she went and did a little upgrading, and I don't dare try now. She's running low 10s in that Chevelle, picking up both front wheels, and I'm dragging my ass doing about a 12.5. So, yeah, I don't dare try and beat her again. And yeah, those are a very nice mag, those slotted mags. In fact, one of our members, Sean Hegberg, one of our longtime members, he has them on his Nova. He's got a 73, a blue one with a black vinyl top, I believe, an SS. He's got those on his Nova. Yeah, they do look pretty slick. Car parts. But moving away from the Chevelles, because this is the Chevelle show. All right, Scott, have a good night, buddy. Thanks for joining us. And Chris has just mentioned, yeah, snow sucks. Hey, he's been here a few times, did a wicked thing. Took him 25 years to find one to build. So I'm assuming he's talking about that 74 Nova he's picked up. So Chris, like I mentioned before, lots of pictures. Please upload them. Charles Albright, how you doing, buddy? And he just asked a question for everybody. What's everybody doing for a stereo? I'll give my 2 cents worth here. I have an Alpine knobby radio that I found in the junkyard back in the late 90s. And I use that in my car because I didn't want to cut my dash. Again, being, kind of one of those Nova purists. Cutting a dash, that is so permanent. So what I've done is I found a knob radio, and it turned out to be an Alpine radio, and just wired it in. And with my speakers and everything, I ran all separate new wiring, so I was not to disturb the original factory harness in that from the original AM radio that I had in the car. And what I'll do is I'll take a picture of that. Let me make a note here, and I'll send you a picture of what I've done. So here we are. Okay, so Charles is let me make a note here. I take you for a ride in with the camera because I got a long enough cord, but the past few streams when I've done that, then problems start happening. So I don't know if it's a loose connection or what. So I'll send you a radio picture a little later on. But let's see what our other members have. So guys, fill up that chat. Let Charles know what you're using. And yeah, I think I paid $5-10 for mine. It's just AM FM cassette. And of course now I use an MP3 player. In fact, where is that thing? It just plugs into the cigarette lighter and it transmits on an FM channel. So that's all I use. And then I have two 6x9s that sit behind my bench seat. And the reason I have two 6x9 in boxes behind the seat is when my dad bought this Nova new, he ordered the rear speaker. And according to the invoice, that was a $20 option. So I didn't want to cut my package tray to add a second speaker because the one speaker that's in the rear now was an option for the car when he bought it new. So I've left it there, and I have two boxes. And of course, I ran new wiring, new speaker wiring, just speaker wire I pulled out of the car that I pulled the radio out of, and that's all I use. Half the time I don't even have the radio on because you like listening to the car. All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, Sean, I think I skipped his comment here. Sorry about that, Sean. I actually have a buddy that got into a small fender bender, and he converted his front end due to the fact it was far easier and cheaper to convert it than to find 73, 74 parts. That's a shame. It is a shame for the fact that these parts are hard to come by for somebody who gets into a fender bender. I've been lucky. I've been into two fender benders. I hit a pedestrian in 96, right dead center of the hood. That cracked my grill in half, and it pushed the hood latch into the car. And it took us 6 months just to find a stock 73, 74 hood for my car. And eventually they found one off of 74, and I was able to find a new grill. Actually off a guy, when I was at the junkyard searching for parts, there was a yellow 71 Nova there. And there was two guys under the back of it. I went up to them and said, guys, I'm looking for a grill for a 73, 74. And the guy goes, oh yeah, we got three of them hanging up in the garage. Now, these grills were very rare in the late 90s, early 2000s because they didn't make them. And I thought, with the way the guy sarcastically answered, I thought, oh, okay, well, thanks for your time, guys. And he goes, no, we really do. So long story short, ended up following them home. Sure enough, they had three of them up on the wall, and the guy sold it to me for $25. I really lucked out that day. But now they do make the grills. They do make the signal lights. They also make the chrome now. But things I haven't seen repoed yet for 73, 74 are the headlight bezels. That seems to be a hot one that people look for, as well as fender extensions, the fender extension chrome, the lower chrome, and the lower grill chrome. I still haven't seen those parts being repoed yet. So Sean makes a point there. Sometimes when you don't have the parts, you use what you can. And again, getting back to the accident I had a second accident in 97 where a lady turned right from the left lane. I caught her with the corner of the bumper, which wrecked the fender and twisted the bumper up. Thankfully, there wasn't too much damage. We were able to straighten out the radiator cradle. Well, the body shop, I didn't do it. It was fixed on insurance. The body shop fixed the radiator cradle. And I was lucky to find a front bumper off of 74. Now, we know how bumpers are different from 73, 74. On the front, very, very minor changes. I call these nostrils. The nostrils on the 73 bumper, a lot bigger. 74, they're half the size. Also, some 74s came with the bumperettes. That's all we had at the time. That's what we ended up using. So I had a 74 bumper on this car for the longest time. Although it doesn't matter to some people because, 73, 74. For somebody who likes their car, proper, that was 17 years I sat and twitched, and it might even be longer than that. It was in 99 that happened. So yeah, 17 years. And then I ended up coming across a member of our group, Craig Antonio, who had a 73 bumper and said he would sell it to me. So an 8-hour drive, and I got the proper bumper. Does it really matter? I guess it depends on you. But at the time, that's all they had, and they didn't make the repo bumpers. So they do make repo bumpers now as well. If anybody knows if they make those parts I was highlighting here, repo, please jump in, fill us in, because there's probably somebody looking for it. Okay, so Kim has a question here. She is having troubles getting her passenger door jamb light working. Anyone have one that you wired in? What I did for that, Kim, I'm trying to think how I did that. I did that on the Omega, and I think I did it after actually pulling one out of one in the junkyard. I unscrewed out of the jamb, of course, and then the white wire actually goes across through the wiring, and it plugs into the one on the driver's side. So you might want to check your connection on the driver's side door jamb switch there. That's where your problem might just be. And I thought I might have had, no, I guess I didn't have one. See, I did some cleaning, and I used to have a bunch of little things up here that I thought, oh, this would be good to demo, and then I guess I put everything away. But Kim, that's what I would check first, is check the connection on the driver's side door jamb. That may be where your problem is. All right, and Sean here. I built a center console and mounted a double den in there, the stock radio spot. I've got a plate and 2 gauges in there. So that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, I got a bench seat, so I couldn't do that. But that's an avenue for Charles to pursue if he has bench or a bucket car. You can always make yourself up a nice little console and wire it in there. I've also seen people buy the kits, the adapter kits, and wire them up under the dash. I've seen some of that as well. I guess it all depends how handy you are and how you want it. Or, heaven forbid, I know this wouldn't be my option, but cut the dash and put it in there. If people have pictures, let's put. Actually, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do a thread on radio pictures for people. So if somebody doesn't start it now, I'm going to do it after. Thread about radios. Okay. I have to make notes because I'm old and I don't remember these things. Okay, Matt Baker wants to discuss what are we supposed to call our Novas. The earlier Novas, of course, were called the Chevy 2s. Then, of course, you got the 68 to 72s, which are Novas, or as they call them, third gens. And some people refuse to acknowledge 73, 74 within the 68 to 74 era. I still consider mine a third gen. And then, of course, 75 to 79 were known as Disco Novas. One thing he heard is 73, 74 were referred to as Nixon Novas. I personally have never heard of that, but I'm also from Canada, right? One thing I did hear about 73 to 74 Novas, back in the day, there was a website called Forgotten Novas International, and it was mainly dedicated to the 73, 74 Novas. And I think they even included the Disco Nova 75 to 79. So I've always referred to the 73, 74 myself as third gen. I classify them with the 68 to 72s. Because except for minor trim differences, we have the same car. Or the Forgotten Novas, because in 73, they started with the emission stuff like that, big bumpers, and people shied away from them a little bit. So that's a tough one, Matt. That's a tough one to debate. I think we need more than 10 people online to debate that. But we do have a post with that. So everybody do weigh in on that. And Rex was just mentioning they got 15 inches of snow last week with a lot of wind, which made for some big drifts. And kind of wishing for a four-wheel drive Nova. I'm sure, Rex, you've seen that picture of that red 74 diesel Nova that's been floating around the Nova groups lately. And I would love a 4x4 Nova. I just couldn't bring myself to do that to my Nova. Originally, that was my idea of building one off a K5 Blazer frame, which I heard, pardon me, which the Nova body will sit on. I thought of doing that with my Omega when I first bought it, but I didn't really have the means and the knowledge to do that kind of work or fabricate. But a 4x4 would definitely be cool. Definitely be cool for winter. And Mr. Dan Clem. Dan is a fellow enthusiast as well. Although he doesn't own a Nova, he's done more than enough work on my Nova to warrant being a member in our group. Dan, very knowledgeable and is an engine builder. He's who I refer to when I'm helping you guys with some of your engine problems. Usually half the time it starts with, "Hey, Dan, just read," and then Dan helps me out. So if you think that I know my stuff, I don't. I just know who to contact. So Mr. Dan Clem, welcome. And he says it's easy to beat low tens. Yeah, it is, but the limiting factor for me is my wallet. And, oh yeah, LS and a Chinese choo-choo, meaning the turbos. And Dan agrees the sweet sound of 8 cylinders is his stereo. Kim was mentioning that she's losing her connection. I'm wondering if anyone else is having that trouble. Hopefully the stream is working. Well, I'm not seeing any errors on my side, but that doesn't mean anything because I've had troubles in the past. So let me take a look at my laptop here. Let's see how things are going here. It's very possible we may be having trouble. I'm usually the last to find out. So, okay, let's, I just got it streaming here, so I'll be able to tell if the video's cutting out. So, Kim, looking into that, but so far I don't see any errors popping up on my side. Oh, Chris, thank you for doing what you do. 5 a.m. comes. So, Chris is taking off. Chris, thank you for joining us. 8 o'clock seems to be the time we've picked. That's general for all the people. I know on the East Coast there, you guys are a couple hours ahead. So, yeah, this would be late for you. I believe it's probably close to 10:30, 11 o'clock out in your way. So, yeah, 5 a.m. comes quick. I know I get up at 5:30. So, thank you, sir, for joining us. Get us some pictures and keep us updated on your project. And thank you for being a member of this group and joining us. It's because of users like you that I do what I do. Say that a little faster. Okay, Steve. Okay, do you know if the felts and door seals will work on my Omega? Now, I know Steve has a 74 Omega. The Nova ones should work. I mean, the door panels are the same, except for, the little trim difference on the top and along the bottom. I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't want to say I'm 100% certain, but I would bet money that they are. Because, I mean, the window channeling is the same. Can we see? Yeah, okay. We can't see on the camera. I mean, it's the same windows. Really, it's the same door panel, except minus, small little trim pieces. I would say it is a safe gamble, Steve, to say they are the same. Before you make that order, maybe check on the return policy of the place you're ordering from, because I'd really hate to tell you to order them and then have you be out a couple $100 on buying different stuff. At the same time, Steve, as we mentioned a little earlier, LutzChevy.com, Luttys Chevy.com. Came across that website some time ago, and they have a lot of stuff for the 73, 74 Nova, Omega. That may help you out. So check that one out, Steve. And again, check the return policy before you buy it, just in case it won't work. But I'm 98, 99% sure it will work because it is the same kind of car, really. Okay, and Richard Beal, how you doing, buddy? He mentions that his radio channel was cut out for a CD player when he bought the car. And thankfully, they did a good job. He never would have done that, but he would have kept it with the factory knob radio. Yeah, you can't control what a previous owner does to their car, right? They do make aftermarket dashes if you ever did want to replace it, but like you said there, they did a very nice job, and hey, if it works for you, it's your Nova. If you enjoy it, hey, all the power to you. I just couldn't bring myself to cutting my dash. I would love to put one of those aftermarket stereos in with the CD player and all that. And I really wrestled with that idea for some time. But of course, as time goes on, technology got better. I ended up getting an MP3 CD stacker, which plugged in through the FM antenna. And then now, like I said, I use that MP3 transmitter. You plug in the cigarette lighter. And I'm really thankful I didn't cut my dash back then, because now I have all the luxuries of modern stereo kind of stuff, and I didn't have to cut my dash. So I guess, it depends what you want. And Patrick Newman, how you doing, buddy? He left the stock AM radio on the dash and installed a new style radio in the glove box, along with an amp, which is installed below the dash, and center floor vents, which can't be seen, and 6x9s in the rears. And dual 3-inch in the factory front location. Oh, that's a good one. And I believe Kim came up with it. Oh, of course you can't see because of the reflection of the light. Kim came across a place, I forget what it was. It was like vintageradio.com or retro stereo. I know Summit Racing does carry them, where they have dual 3-inch speakers in the proper radio housing that you can mount. Speaking of radio housings, I finally found mine. We were talking a few streams ago about making your own bracket or how you can mount front speakers. Well, here's an old front speaker mount it was a front speaker. I pulled out of the junkyard years ago, and that's exactly what I was going to do. I was going to cut holes and mount 2 small little speakers. This was something I was going to do. I think I started this, 2002, 3, 4, early back when I was going to do this. And like everything else, it's on the list. As you can see, I haven't gotten very far. Anyway, I was going to drill a couple holes, mount speakers in this, and then mount this inside the car and use that as my front speaker, because I currently don't have front speakers. However, now they make a front speaker with dual 3 inches in it, all in a one-piece unit. And I have seen them actually on Summit Racing as well. So, Kim, if you're still on, if you can post that link, that would be fantastic. And I'll try and see if I can find one as well. And we'll post that up. Again, I'm going to start a radio thread after the stream of that. And let's help out some of our users. And I think that's going to be one of my purchases for come spring, is to put that front speaker and maybe wire that front speaker up to my radio as well. That would be cool. I know I got speakers that the previous owner of the Omega, when I bought it, had them in the kick panel. They also make aftermarket kick panels now for 73, 74 that have speakers molded into them. So they also have that as well. Okay, that auto focusing is really upsetting me. There's got to be a way to disable that. Sorry, moving right along. And, we got Joseph Collins from North Carolina, I'm assuming, NC. Welcome, sir, and thank you for joining us. And, hey, another local, Greg Hiroka. Oh, I'm slaughtering that one. In fact, I still need to meet up with my good buddy Greg, because he found me some of those new Hot Wheel Novas. Although it's a 68 Nova, it's one of those camo with the shark graphic on the side ones. Greg's got a couple of those for me, so I need to go pick those up. All right, and moving right along. Charles says that he calls ours the late third gens. That's another good way to refer to the 73, 74s. And Kim mentioned retro sound stereo. Okay, and she did okay, she's back. So yeah, Steve, no problem. Hopefully it helps you in the right way. And Kim has shared that link again Steve for letschevy.com. So take a look at that. See if you can find those felts you need. So, Greg, sorry, getting back to you. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Still got to bribe you to come over and check out my Nova because, like I said, it still needs a little love on the side there and needs some body work. And I'm no body man. I don't even try to be. I did body work on the Omega, and I watched Matt Baker, and I did a lot of similar stuff on the Omega, and that was 4 months every day, and that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. All right, moving right along. And it seems Charles and Joseph's are neighbors there down in North Carolina. That's awesome. And Matt's talking about mounting some 6x9s in the front kick panels. If you got the room, why not? I mean, it's always nice to have tunes in the car. Myself, I'm in the Omega. I think they're 4-inch speakers that are in the front of the Omega kick panel. And I think the kick panels, you can buy that aftermarket. They're 4-inch as well, but of course round. You may have trouble though with 6x9s because if I'm not mistaken, there's like a bracing in behind that kick panel. I know where my speakers are is right in the middle where there's an opening in the bracing. So I don't know if you're going to have to move it over a little to accommodate the 6x9. You might run into the bracing, or you might run into problems because of the vent that, it goes through the kick panel, and there's a big bulky vent part on the inside of it that, slides through that bracing. That might cause you problems, but hey, it's worth looking into, man. And of course, let us know. That knowledge could be very valuable. Oh, okay. Kim mentioned that Summit is where she ordered her dual front speaker from, and that sucker is loud too. And Kim is also asking a question if you think a 6x9 would fit in the front kick panels. Now, I'm not much of an audio-visual guy either. I don't know if a 6x9 and a 4-inch round speaker, if there's much sound difference or quality in between the two. Of course, the more money you spend on speakers, the better quality you get too. So that's something to think of as well. But I think I'm going Kim's route, and I'm going to order one of those dual front speakers, probably from Summit or wherever the best price is. Because as I look at this brace here, I don't think I'm getting very far on installing my own. And there's been, just looking here, this brace actually fits over the speaker. So I don't know if that comes built on the retro speaker or not, but you might need this mounting piece here. Yeah, one of those projects again I'll get around to. All right, where are we? Let's see what we got for comments here. Oh, wow, look at that. It's 48 minutes into the stream, and we're just moving along. Patrick Newman mentioned he got his at Classic Industries, and he thinks it's a retro sound model. And Richard Beal has seen Charles's car up close, and that it's a sweet ride. That's always nice to hear compliments. Pat, I believe his is that nice green one with the white vinyl top. I know it's if that's the one I'm thinking of, that's a very sweet Nova. I'm just in the on another window here, another browser. And again, on the left side, using your browser, Chevy Nova, the 7th one down, I click photos, and that gives me a picture of all the photos that have been uploaded to our group. So it makes it really easy to search for pictures. And I'm just looking to see if I can find one quickly of Pat's. Okay, here we are. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Pat. Okay, I'm thinking of the wrong car, Patrick. I'm thinking of Patrick Montano. He's got that green one. So, Pat, remind me what kind of car you got again there. Let's see if I can find a picture. It's just I try my best to try and remember everybody. I really do, folks, because I love this group and I love you guys as friends. Probably one of the main reasons I haven't closed my Facebook account down is because of this group. You guys are great. All right, so Patrick. Oh, you've got that black 74. Oh, with the blue headlights. I love that car. That car is so clean. And he's sporting the slot mags on his 74 as on that Chevelle there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that car. I'm just I'm looking at a picture here of let's see if I can get it. I don't, not very good here at moving on camera. Oh, Pat, that's a Patrick. Sorry, I don't know if you like being called Pat. That is a beautiful car, and that's actually one of the pictures I got saved to use as an upcoming cover picture. Okay, now that I got all my Novas straightened out here. Okay, let's see. We got some replies here. Okay, so Matt Baker, he's going to look into it. He needs to find an old one so he can check and see. He's talking about that 6x9 speaker in the front kick panel. And to make events won't be functional. Well, those vents in the floor, Matt, are from the cowl. Because the air goes in through the cowl there, down along the fender channel, and in through the vents to get air inside the car. So it's not an air conditioning vent per se, but it is a functional vent for your cowl to get air into the car. There we go. Oh, yeah. Patrick's just telling me this is the black 74. Yes. And Joseph Collins, let's see if I must have some of your car in here too. I mean, I have 240 some pictures in here I want to use. Oh, yes. I have yours noted here as a 74, Joseph. With it was the 74 with the 73 battery. It is in fact the 73. Is it not? Let me take a closer look here. You should be able to tell from the bumpers. Oh, yeah. No, he's got the bigger nostrils in the front, and the back bumper's got that nice 90 degree at the top. So, yeah, it's a 73. I got yours noted the wrong way here. Must have been the decals that threw me off. That's the 74 SS decal package. It has the two stripes on both sides, and then, the Nova SS decal on the side. Well, sharp-looking decals. I really like that. And those stripes look really good on Joseph's car, which is kind of a maroon, reddish, cherry kind of car. Yeah, that's a sexy car as well. And Matt Baker's mentioning as well that Patrick's Nova is sick. It sure is. And actually looking at Patrick's Nova there, I've often thought of completely blacking out my Omega. For the most part, it is blacked out, but I haven't painted the bumpers or the chrome around the windows or that yet. But I look at Patrick's car there all in black. Of course, mine's in flat black because I don't want to show any of the bad bodywork or dents. And I think that would look slick. I really do. Yeah. All right, moving along here. Oh, Sean. Oh, I'm sorry to hear your internet crashed. And yeah, I love these live streams too. It's fun to chat with people. I really wish there was a way of, everybody kind of being able to log in and everybody could have a kind of a general live stream, because I hate being the one that does all the talking. And for the most part tonight, there's a lot of people conversating here, which is really good to see. So I'm really happy to see that. And yeah, we've been on for 54 minutes and we're still going strong. I usually try to go about an hour, of course. Longer, hey, if you people want to chat, there, I'm using that label, you people. If you people want to keep chatting, of course, we'll stay online longer. I'm not going to shut down a good chat, eh? Okay, what else do we have here? Hey, Dave Williams has joined us. How you doing, buddy? You're not late. Well, yeah, maybe just a a little bit. And the LS is in finally. So Dave is doing a LS swap. So thanks for joining us, Dave. And of course, we enjoy your pictures and your updates on your LS swap, which seems to be another popular swap into cars. So that's another modification I guess you could dabble on for, you know, those purists out there. We talked about modifications earlier, whether it be the front 7370 or the front 7374, the 68 to 72 look, all this and that. That's another hot topic too, is swapping out. Do you go old school small block Chevy or big block Chevy, or do you go the way of technology and put an LS in? There's another, that's not so much of a sensitive topic as the other ones, but that's still a good one. Yeah, no, Matt, I personally wouldn't cover up those vents. Usually when I'm driving on the highway, because I don't have air conditioning either, I roll up my windows on both sides till they're just about, you know, 3/4 to an inch open, and I make sure the vents are open and you get a nice breeze coming in. But again, it depends what you want and what you do with your car. You could always try it. If it doesn't work, you could always pull them out, right, and open the vents again. Looking the way you're doing metal fabricating work, I don't think it'd take much for you to quickly fab up something to, you know, to just cover it, to put your speaker in and try. Totally up to you, my friend. But yeah, I wouldn't cover up those vents. I love those vents in my car. And good to see you're doing all right, Dave, and a late night at the school. Is that where you're doing the work on your car? Are you in an automotive shop at a school? That would be pretty cool and pretty handy. And Sean is asking if any fellow 7374 owners have a 327 in their Nova. So if anyone's got a 327, please see Sean. I don't have a 327, but I have a 406. Yeah, okay, that was a bit of a sarcastic comment that wasn't warranted and probably not funny, but I'm kind of dying here for material. Okay, let's see. Oh, Matt Baker has responded. In the springtime, he will have a 337, which is a 327 board 60 over. That'd be pretty cool. Wouldn't mind seeing the specs on that. That sounds like a pretty cool engine for sure. So just taking a look here, and let's correct Joseph's Nova here. So when I do post this picture, I post it with the right year. Actually, I have 4 different pictures to pick from for you, Joseph, when we get around to it. Of course, I've had your car up before, so it may be a little while yet before I get it up again. And sometimes if I have enough pictures of a particular person, I thought of doing something where I would change the picture every day for your 3-4 days stint as a cover picture. Yeah, okay, I got 243 pictures now because I just saved another one. And Dave teaches high school auto. That is awesome. Some of the best times I had were in auto shop in high school. Of course, that was, you know, in the early 90s, 92, 93, 94, 95. We had some good times in the auto shop, and that's where my tinkering actually began. So, hey, Dave, props up to you, first of all, for being a teacher, especially with the way kids act and behave in today's society. And secondly, for teaching a trade that needs to be taught out there. Like that's a difficult trade to teach now because cars have so much electronics in them and stuff like that. Where do you go? Oh, Joseph's just mentioning he has a 468 big block Chevy in that 73 SS of his. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, Sean is asking a question. Okay, sorry to bother you with a question again. Hey, Sean, that's what we're here for. Can we discuss headers that don't mess with the plugs or steering boxes for small block Chevy? The headers I'm running right now are hooker headers. 2451 HKR is the part number. And I know that because I have it written right here. Those are the headers that I put in my Nova this spring. And before that, I had Hedman headers. And I have the part number for them somewhere. And I have manual steering. Do you have manual steering or power steering? And I've got both. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to measure how much clearance I have. I have manual steering. And I have just under an inch. I have, yeah, just about 3/4 of an inch. The width of my thumb. So, yeah, just over 3/4 of an inch between the header tube and the steering box on mine. And that is the number 3 pipe I'm looking at. So I have lots of room. Again, I have manual steering. So if somebody's got power steering, well, wait a minute. I got power steering in the Omega, and I supposedly I have the same headers in the Omega. I don't really know because they were given to me by a buddy, and that's what he told me they were. So I don't know if they are in fact the same headers, the hooker headers that I have in the Nova, but I know they are a lot closer. There's a lot less clearance on the power steering box. So it's I'm just going to write a note here. I'll send you a picture of what I got here. Header and steering. See if that helps you out. But yeah, let us know if you have power steering or manual steering, because I wonder if that may impact some of the answers too. And Matt is calling his 337 the Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse, not Mighty, yeah. Yeah, damn autocorrect, eh? And that's pretty cool, Dave, that you let the kids work on your Nova too. And you know what? That's probably a good thing, because they may take a little more pride in working on a car that's, you know, more of a classic, right? That means something. I know when I was in auto shop, story time. When I was in auto shop, there was a lady and she had an old Dodge Dart, and she always asked for me on it because she said that I treated the car well and I didn't treat it like an old piece of junk as previous students had in the past. She was one of the custodians at the high school, and she actually asked for my name. I had to change a water pump and the thermostat on it. And of course, I didn't know much difference between Dodge, GM, or Ford. You know, I wasn't too biased back in my early age. And, you know, I just did the work as the instructor taught us. And of course, you treat the car with respect. You treat everybody's car with respect. But I guess, you know, not everybody sees it that way. But that's pretty cool that you got the kids involved in that. And who knows, maybe some of those kids in a few years might turn out to be able to get a Nova and build something. Okay, so Sean mentioned, oh yeah, plug issues. Okay, sorry, Sean, I missed that part. Now, what I've done for plugs, on the Nova, I have no problem really. And I say really. On my Omega, I have a newer gen block in it. So my dipstick tube, and it was out of a truck. So my dipstick tube comes up alongside over number 6 and up to the front, again, being a truck block. And that dipstick tube is right in the way, so I have a hard time. But I know on number 6, I have to put a wrench and a socket to get it out and work it out. And if I don't take out that dipstick tube, I'm looking at almost an hour to change that one plug, and it drives me nuts. And over the years, I've come across different, you know, spark plug sockets. Some of them are different heights. There we are. Some of them are different heights. And I got a shorter one here. And in fact, I have another shorter one. It's not in my toolbox, so I need to look for that. And what I do is I put that in, and then I took an old, you know, cheap wrench, one of those no-name ones you can buy for like 50 cents. And I just use that, and you just, you know, yeah, take your time and just. But otherwise, I have no real issues. The only thing I would say I have an issue with, Sean, with these headers, is the way the number 1 tube is bent. to go in behind the number 3 tube. It is bent, and it is actually really tight to my temperature sensor on my odometer gauge. And what I did there is I wrapped about this much of the header in header wrap for temperature, as well as I use one of those spark plug socks. Yeah, I can't easily take it off. One of those spark plug booties to cover the sensor. I'll send you a picture of that as well. But that's what I do for, otherwise I don't really have any issues with spark plug clearances, but I need to find that shorter socket. And again, sometimes you can buy, the cheap sockets for, a couple bucks at one of the hardware stores or something. And that's what I usually do for those hard to reach places, or to make like a specialty kind of tool. And in fact, I even did that with a 9/16 wrench, because sometimes hard to tighten those bolts on the top of the bell housing from up top. And I know unless you got a hoist in that, when you're underneath a car with all 15 of the extensions you have, I found that sometimes it's just easier with the distributors out just to use a little wrench and work it in that way. And James Klein just mentioned that looking to a set of Dynatech headers. It's a very good product. He's running angle plugged heads with power steering and a 4-speed, and he's had no issues. So James, that's great. If you are running those, James, if you have the part number handy, that'd be great to know. And really, we're getting ditched for laundry, Patrick. Well, I guess you do need clothes to get dressed to go to work. So yeah, thanks, Pat. Of course, thank you for being a member of the group and for joining us tonight. Thank you very much. And we hope to see you again, of course. And Dave says he likes to add a little old with the new. He's referring to the LS motor in his Nova. And I notice we've dropped down to 6 viewers. I don't know if that's because people are getting tired of me or whether we're having trouble. So you know what? We'll go a few more minutes, see if the chat keeps going. If the chat keeps going, I'll keep going. But otherwise, we can wrap it up. And again, I'll try to give more notice on the next stream. It's just being a backup goalie in various leagues, I get called sometimes about 3-4 hours before a game, or sometimes the night before, and I would hate to promise a stream and not deliver. So that's where I'm at. So I don't want to promise something that I can't do. So that's why this one tonight was pretty last stream. I also wanted to talk, of course, about the respect factor of people and their modifications on their cars. Let's please be respectful. Whether you agree with the modification or not, whether you like it or not, if you don't, move along. It's his car or her car, and they've spent their hard-earned money, and they're building something they want. So that was basically all I wanted to touch on that subject, which we did earlier on. Oh, you know what else I wanted to talk about is people, when they log in and they're asking questions for help on their cars. I wanted to kind of touch base that if you're having problems with your cars, of course, we love the questions. We love to help you out. If you could provide us, we need to know the essential information, of course, 73, 74, of course, we know that already. Is it, excuse me, a V6 or a V6? A straight 6? Is it a V8? Is it a small block Chevy? Is it a big block Chevy? Sometimes if you can, let us know the part numbers or some of the modifications, like if you have aftermarket ignition, HEI or that. If it's making a funny noise of that, if you can upload a video, videos are great. Pictures are great. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. I want to better prepare something when I bring that up, so I didn't really touch on that, but I wanted to mention that. When you're asking questions, the more information you can get us, the better. And then we don't have to worry so much about everybody replying, can you answer this? Does it have this? Does it have this? Does it have that? If we can get all that information to begin with, then maybe we can get you answers just a little quicker. And okay, James is going to get us the part numbers for those headers. And Sean, I'm a mechanic and I work on cars for a living. So the idea of an LS swap to me and bringing electronics makes me shudder at the thought. I certainly get the appeal. Sean, I am bang on there with you, although I don't do it as a trait. I've tinkered enough on a Nova, and I've helped friends out with, slightly newer cars. And for me, a newer car, I'm talking, 80s and 90s. I tinkered on an 88 Caprice where, you're just starting to get into the throttle body and the TBI. And then I used to work on my 92 Crown Vic, although I'm not much of a Ford guy. But when you start bringing computers, and I work with computers for a living, when you start bringing computers into things, computers, what can I say about them? They're great when they work. When they don't, it could be a real headache. And now you're bringing computers and sensors. Like even this fuel injection, I was even hesitant about putting in because now what controls the fuel injection? A computer. So even I was hesitant in that, but it is pretty straightforward in terms of, a couple sensors and wiring in. So it wasn't too bad, but I mean, new cars today. And as I believe it was Dan Clem who said it to me. In today's cars, it's not the mechanical that fails. And Brandon, how you doing? It's been a while. Yes, indeed. Hello, my friend. Welcome. We are just at the tail end of the stream. If you get a chance, you can watch it again. It will be, of course, saved on the forum. I also save them and put them on our YouTube channel, Chevy Nova 7374. However, on the YouTube channel, it does not include the chatting you see here on the right. So you got to just go with what I say, and there's really nothing to read. However, you can do a search for previous streams along with this stream. Again, on the Facebook, on the menu, on your browser. On the left side, it is the 6th one down, and I'm going to make some pictures and post those for people on how to search for items. But welcome, and thanks for joining us indeed. And just looking here, we're almost rounding 75 minutes. That's an hour and 15 minutes. And seems like everything's kind of winding down. So I may shut her down. It's 9:15 where I am. And I might just quickly shovel before I go to bed because it'll make it easier to shovel tomorrow. We're currently expecting 10 to 30 centimeters of snow here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And it is a bombing 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So, Sean, I'm going to get you those pictures, and I'll share them with you shortly. And I guess we'll take that time to round it up. And we got a comment. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, not yet. Okay. Oh, Dave's talking about the Terminator X will be running, has a diagnostic feature light built, diagnostic feature light row built into it. Yeah, the Terminator X, that's another one of the Holley snipers. A lot more complicated than what I got. I just got the very simple EFI sniper kit. So you can put nitrous to it, but you can't add turbo or blow through or anything like that. Mine's very simple compared to the Terminator, which has a lot more features, a lot more options, and thankfully, a lot easier to diagnose. And Sean says one of the engines he sees on a regular basis are these modern cars that have mechanical problems, are the new Hemis. Other than that, it's mostly always computer issues. And I mean, bang on, you got one sensor that gives you a bad reading, could affect 2 or 3 sensors down the road. And when you think your problem is down the road, you don't know the root cause because you got to, play with the sensors and troubleshoot. So, yeah, my hat off to you, Sean, for the profession that you were in. Back in the day, I was actually looking to, after school, I was looking into becoming an auto mechanic and getting into that field. And when I worked at a gas station, I was good friends with one of the mechanics there. And we had a good heart-to-heart talk at one time over lunch or something. And he said, Dave, don't be stupid. Go into computers. That's where you want to go. He didn't think there was much of a future in auto mechanics with the way computers are coming into and how much stuff, small garages would be able to fix, as everything seems to be, dealership oriented down the road. But granted, this is something he told me almost 25 years ago. So that statement may not be very true today because the auto field is very good. But I ended up going back to computers, and I'm kind of thankful I did because I would be losing my over technology today working on a car. So yeah, Sean, hey, hats off to you. All right, so just doing a little bit of countdown. We have hit 1:15, and I think I'm going to say good night to everybody here. Thank you for joining us on the stream, of course. And yeah, just, remember the basics. Post pictures, post your stories, post the videos. We love that kind of stuff. Please be respectful to other people and their modifications. I'm sorry I'm really beating on that, but I just, that really kind of upset me with what I saw happen yesterday, but it was dealt with very quickly. No need to talk about it again. I'm sorry. And I'll get some pictures and diagrams up again on how to search for pictures, videos, and the new file section that we have up. And maybe some other changes that might be coming to the group. Nothing big. Don't worry. There's no big panic. Oh, we're not doing a major change or overhaul. Just want to try and make see if I can do some different things to make things easier for people to find posts and fixes and stuff like that. So as I come across or as we make changes, of course, you guys will be first to know through posts or the stream. So before I go, a couple more people have Sean in here. James has got that header part number there, Sean. I think it was Sean that was looking for that. Yes. Sean, there's that part number for you. And thanks. Yeah, I enjoy doing the streams. I love talking about Novas and Nova stuff and trying to help people. I've been helped by people along the way, and I just, trying to pay it back. So, of course. And like Rich says, yeah, keep it between the ditches. We do our best. We do our best indeed. So, all right, folks, this time for sure. Good night from Winnipeg, Manitoba. And we hope to see you in another stream shortly. I guess the corny line I've been using is smoke tires, not drugs. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Good night.